Good evening, race fans, and welcome to our Wednesday nights here at Freaky Fest Broadcasting. This is Carl Pooler up in the booth with Zach Hall, and as always, Robert Moyer Jr., our fearless leader, the producer, up there doing his thing. And here we are at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Zach, the first race of the playoffs is tonight. What do you think we can expect here from this group of drivers?
Well, it's going to be definitely very interesting to see how this race plays out here. I tell you what, every time I come here and see the Myrtle Beach Speedway, it brings almost a little bit of a tear to my eye now because, this place here, a very legendary racetrack. Many NASCAR drivers grew up, cutting their teeth on this very circuit itself here in in South Carolina. And, to have it unfortunately taken down and, demolished is, it's great to see at least you're still in iRacing and to be able to put on a race here because I love this place. It's going to be some great racing, a great place to start off the playoffs, and man, a track that really rewards a driver that is willing to get close to that inside wall there on the pit entry there to 3 and 4. I've always had a blast here. Let's just see how these guys can do it tonight as they're putting down their qualifying laps and getting ready for 100 laps of mayhem around here at Myrtle Beach.
100 laps is quite a big number, but these guys are running under 19-second laps, especially in this qualifying session. So these guys are just speeding around this course, and it looks. I haven't raced here, Zach, but it's kind of looks like a little bit of a flat oval, a little misshapen, really a unique as configuration to this track, and it looks like the track itself is really aged, and it looks kind of warm out there. Track's going to be slick. We have all the great ingredients of a awesome race here tonight. The drivers are going to be battling the track and the cars in even each other, but here we are. Looks like we're getting close to wrapping up possibly the qualifying session. But Zach, we have only 2 rounds of playoff races, and we've seen the past couple of races just be dominated by a couple of cars. Of course, Mario Urkelinen with all his wins, but the 48 of Peyton Hill and the 9 of Ronald Cole have both proven they have speed to contend for the lead. Will these added pressure to the playoffs force some of these drivers to maybe make more aggressive moves maybe than they would in the regular season?
I think it definitely will. I think you look at it's on the up definitely for Ronald Cole and Peyton Hill, but you also look at Carlani, who's led the points for majority of the season. He also was kind of on the up. He got those 2 in a row wins and was really firing on all cylinders. Then you had Peyton Hill coming there still to win. Ronald Cole closed it out there at Dover. I mean, right there, that's our front 3 starting here so far as qualifying looks like it's come to an end there as those 3 are going to start up front. It's going to be a battle between them, and then you got to throw in the rest of the field here. It's going to be fun to watch. Myrtle Beach Speedway, one of the best tracks out there. I'm super excited to see these cars race around it.
And exciting to say that qualifying is wrapped up. You see, we're going to possibly pull up some of the standings here for qualifying. But like you said, Zach Urkelani taking that pole position. Peyton Hill in the outside pole, and Ronald Cole. So all 3 of the drivers we've been talking about nearly all season, all in the top 3. Frank Barbary in the 4th position. We've talked to him a time or 2 in the booth after a top 3 finish a couple of weeks ago. In the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman has signs of speed. Kurt Petty there in the 6th position. Alex Marinelli qualifying in 7th. Johnny Hurst in 8th. Ben Mashworth in 9th. And in the 10th position there is Justin Hamlin. And then, of course, wrapping up the field will be Kevin Otis in 11th. But here we go, Zach. Really old track, really storied history here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Will these drivers be able to kind of keep their cool, and especially knowing that this is a somewhat long race, 100 laps to go around this just over quarter of a mile course. It's going to be really fun to see how the racers race each other and the track.
It really will be. I mean, down here, first of all, going down to 1 as we pace here with the lights cutting off before we get the green, you see those giant strips there of that white paint. They've got giant curbs there that are just giant little circles on the ground that can really upset your car. You're going to see those guys trying to stay away from that, get a late apex, then heading down here to 3 and 4 as the pace car turns in. They're going to get as close to this wall as possible. We'll see who has the most braveness to be able to drive there.
So you have to have the courage to run here and look at the track. We see the green flag in the air right here. Barney with the green flag waving. There is the 41 launching, but Peyton Hill, the 48, got a great response to that start of the race and was able to keep up. It's going to slide down. Coming out of turn 2 in front of the 9 of Ronald Cole, taking that 3rd position, but up front, the 48 charging hard, trying to get those positions early. Zach, you know, early in these restarts, early in these runs is where you can really pack up some of the passes that you want when they're all condensed, but where do you balance safety and where do you balance aggression?
Well, you know, that is one thing that you have to balance between you know, this racetrack here, because this place here can reach out and grab you very quickly. I mean, you got two treacherous things, like I said, the pit wall and those curbs down in 1 and 2. Those are two things you got to really stay focused if you want to get close to that line and run right up against those things to make you as fast as possible. You're probably going to see a few drivers take a risk diving down into 1. That's where you'll have to take the most risk at with those little curves, because if a driver forces you down there, you kind of have to go down. So it'll be up to them to try to make it too wide. But this track here, very hard on the tires and very abrasive. We should see a decent bit of fall off here. We'll see who can manage the most. We've seen Eckerlani's been super fast all season out front, but can these guys behind them manage their tires a little bit better and make them last?
Well, we see here we're riding on board, looking past the rear deck lid of the 48 machine. The 9 of Ronald Cole is right on the bumper, just waiting for a moment to make it past. The 48 fell back a little bit, and you hit it on the head there, I think, Zach. His tire wear is going to be a huge thing, and he, just a couple of laps that he was, really going into the throttle there. The 48 might have burned up his tires, and that's the 26 of Frank Barbary having an issue into the outside wall. They're starting 4th, but trying to get right back in line into the rhythm behind the 4 machine of Ben Mashburn. But we see a breakaway. We see the 41, then our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position cars of the 48, 9, and the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman. Jonathan Dickerman, these past couple of races, Zach, has done actually really well, running the top 5 consistently. May have had a couple of incidents, but kept it clean for the most part, and has been consistently seeing himself getting those top 5s and top 3s.
He really has been, and Dover looked very, very strong for him. So he's done very, very well to manage his season so far, running a good solid top 4 pace right now. But behind him, Marinelli, he's made up 2 spots to that 5th position in the 54. He's ahead of Kurt Batty, who showed a lot of pace at some points during the season. Also in the 29. There is a field full of drivers here who have a potential to go out and get the win here tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm going to be interested to see, can this 29 make his way through?
And that's going to be the most interesting thing, is we see them all bunched up. It looks like the 54 of Marinelli is just holding this group up just a little bit. You see them all bunched up, especially in corner entry. But so far, everyone's kept it straight. No spin outs, no caution. Oh, as we see the 29 of Kurt Batty have to really bail out of the corner there to avoid getting into the rear end of the 54. But that was great driving all around, great heads up maneuvering around all those cars. And it looks like the 54 might have gotten a loose there at the edge of turn 4. So all these guys showing great composure there and keeping it straight with a little bit of maybe a couple dents here and there. But at a track like this at Myrtle Beach, it shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Well, I tell you what, Ben Mashburn's liking what he saw there with that. He got the 2-for-1 deal there as the 29 gets into the 54, puts him up the racetrack. Ben Mashburn, he goes from the 7th position up to 5th there in one fell swoop. Great job there from him now, as he's going to have to try to defend as Kurt Batty tries to pull his way right back up to the deck lid of him. The top 4 there have somewhat broken away to about 2nd and a half, with 2nd between 4th, separated nose to tail just like this battle. Eckerlani, though, continuing to gap the field.
And here we are, Kurt Batty again, still there in that 6th position, probably getting a little heated under that hood because he was in a position, had to bail out of that corner in turn 3 a couple laps ago, but no damage it looks like, and now he's behind another car of the number 4 of Ben Mashburn. And again, a similar situation. Looks like he may be a little faster than the car in front of him, but he can't quite make the pass early on because there's just too much space between the two cars, but he is trying everything he can. Low line, high line, he's trying to do a late apex here coming out of turn 4, but he can't quite get the exit off and get to the bumper to make a move into corner entry as we see into turn 1.
Yeah, this track very, very fun, I must say. One of my favorite short tracks out there. As you head into 3 here, look at this line here, right close up to the grass. Got to get that left front right against the wall if you want to get the most grip possible out of the tires. Ooh, a little bit of rear tire shake there coming off the corner. Is going to lose the rear end as he heads down to 1. A little bit of a later apex here from the 29. He'll arc it in there, missing the bottom there at the entry, but getting right against those curbs on the exit to get the straightest exit possible to get a run down here. And he's trying to claw his way to make a run somehow. This 4 machine is making it tough there in the 4 of Ben Mashburn.
And these drivers are trying to widen this track out as wide as they can. A couple laps ago, I just see the 4 there. Ben Mashburn getting to the outside wall going into 3, but kept it straight. Lost a little bit of speed, but was able to regain a lot of that momentum coming out of the corner exit. So a lot of these guys trying to widen this track. Is the 58 of Johnny Hurst is just kind of idling there in 8th position. He started a position back, so already he's gained just a little bit of speed. With the 09 Kevin Otis, we haven't seen him for a couple weeks, and he looks like he's just trying to iron this track out. And with the car behind him, the 19 Justin Hamlin, just trying to get to the first couple of laps as we are already 20 laps in. And with this track surface, Zach, it's bumping. If you want to feel these bumps, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go and get yourself a ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience, and the Gamer 2 lets you feel all of that detail, from footsteps to a rumble of a V10 powered engine, grenades, explosions, you name it. It moves the physical mass instead of only air like a traditional speaker, so it provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response. And even better, it's perfectly in sync with every game. Go check them out, ButtKicker.com. Use the code FreakyFast20 for 20% off all your order. As we watch right along, as we see the 41 of Mario Urcolani just kind of cruising right now, setting a pretty consistent pace with about a gap of 2.5 seconds to the 48 behind him. Peyton Hill just seems to be losing a little more speed, so Mario Urcolani seemingly making this look easy with a little bit of tire save.
Yeah, doing a good job. They started to close down on him, but Urcolani here started to open that gap back up, and again growing it now here on lap 24, so did a good job of pacing himself there just for a little bit. But to Ronald Cole, the 9, he has been all over the deck of the 14 of Peyton, or 48 of Peyton Hill. He's been trying everything in his power to get a run, just hasn't had that chance yet. Peyton Hill been solid under the pressure from the 9.
Well, and then the car behind the 9, the 13, Jonathan Dickerman, he's actually set the fastest time of this race so far with an 18:88. His last lap was 19.2, almost a little bit faster than the 41 of Mario Urcolani. So a lot of these guys, Peyton Hill might have burned up his stuff a little too early in this run and just slowing up the rest of this team. And you never know. We have seen Zach where it has come down to a couple of cautions, a set of tires, and maybe a splash of fuel has made the difference in a couple of these races. And with about 3/4 of the race to go, there's no telling how that strategy will come into play here at a place such as Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how that all plays out for sure, you know. When a caution comes out, it's really, I mean, if a caution comes out, it'll really shake things up. And we've seen it in the season at Phoenix, you know, long green runs, we had a chance for the fuel to be an interesting take. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But while we're continuing under this long green run here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, great racing around the racetrack, let's give a shout out to 2 of our newest sponsors here. And our newest one, that is Admin Box. That's right, Admin Box with 2 X's there. And what is Admin Box, you say? Well, Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers. In league and hosted races, the goal is to make race control as easy as possible. And each Admin Box that connects via USB has pre-programmed commands for race control, driver functionality, functions, and pit options. So you can check that out. They have LED backlighting that makes the buttons very highly visible. And also it has a desk-mounted enclosure. It's race control at your fingertips. What else could you say? So I tell you what, you need to go check out Admin Box at adminbox.com with 2 X's. Use that discount code FFB/ box with 2X's to get that discount there and get yourself race control at your fingertips. Next up, though, our also one of our newest sponsors, that is iRacing iFlag. That's right, they got their 64 LEDs visual flag system that gives you tons of information from not only what type of flag state the track is in, from green flag, yellow flag, white flag, to the checker flag, to even getting black flags or blue flags. It has so much other information, such as letting you know a car could be on your inside to your outside with spotting tips, and it also can be used for many other things. So make sure you check out iRacing iFlag at iracingiflag.com, and you can get yourself your visual flag system there with 64 LEDs with that discount code FreakyFast2022 to get your discount code. So thank you to iRacing iFlag for being a sponsor, along with Admin Boxes. They're two of our newest sponsors, and they've just jumped on board as we continue this great racing here around the Myrtle Beach Speedway. As you see, it looks like Hill starting to close the gap down again.
Yes, sir. Peyton Hill in the last about 5 laps or so went from 2.5 seconds to right around a second, maybe a little under a second, and pulled away from the 9 of Ronald Cole behind him, and also the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman. In fact, Peyton Hill is putting down some of the faster laps of the race right now. So Peyton Hill running a really conservative race, but seeing as we thought he might have burned his stuff up early on, he's starting to gain. But the 9 has kind of plateaued just a little bit behind him of Ronald Cole. He hasn't quite moved up maybe as much as he wanted. It's just possibly maybe preserving his tires as well with being so long into a green flag run. But here's some racing. The 29, Kurt Batty, trying to make a power move around the outside of turn 2 around the 4 of Ben Mashburn. He's one of those drivers that was maybe getting a little irritated seeing a bumper of a driver, knowing he's just a little bit faster, and who's finally able to make that move around the 4 and gain that position. But if he wants to get into the wall, I was going to say, if he wants to get closer to the pack in front of him, he's going to have to not do that, as he is way behind the pack a good 5 seconds.
Yeah, these two still battling here as Batty got into that wall. Look at this, Mashburn sliding the rears on entry. Here comes Batty back on the track. They're going to make a little contact here off the 2. This is some great racing back here for this 5th position to get into the top 5 playoff action here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. As they're coming off a 4. Batty with a little bit of a run, but Mashburn doing a great job on the bottom. He's been real loose on entry here. Holding it down, though. Doing a great job as everybody's side by side again. It's going to come to contact with a little beating and banging once more. This is what you call great late model action around the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Is now Batty once more going to try to power off a 4. Got the power that time. Is going to be almost a full car ahead, but it's going to 4 diving back to the inside, losing the rear. But the 29 going to try to power down the straightaway here and get the run. He'll clear here before the corner, but the 4 once more diving to the inside. Now Batty full control of the position.
And that 4 machine really tried to cut that corner as far as he would go to that pit wall of turn 4, but just as he thought he couldn't get anywhere, there he is. Oh, has to get out of the throttle just a little bit of the fender's touch there coming out of turn 2, but there's the 4 on the bumper again, and that's what just is making this track so wonderful. So many multiple lines, so many different ways you can run this track and run the line, as we watch the 4 hunting down the 29 again of Kurt Batty, trying to get that position back as he dives really low, but the 29 going to have that momentum, really able to kind of late apex that out and have that momentum on corner exit. Batty nearly getting into that outside wall down the front straightaway, but just cannot seem to gain any speed on the 29 of Kurt Batty. So Kurt Batty getting what he wants and see some open track in front of him.
Yeah, this has been really fun to watch here. Those two battle it out, but I tell you what, Hill, who was hounded up there in the 2nd position by the 9 of Ronald Cole, he now has been able to push himself farther away, has built about a 2nd gap, and now it's about a half a second for the lead. As we look at the 54 of Marinelli back here, he's starting that 7th position. He was riding back in 7th, but here's Hill and Ekralani. This is the battle for the lead up front. Hill's been able to close it down, but once he's got within about a half a second, Ekralani has stabilized here a little bit, and they broke even. So this has been fun to watch here. Who is going to be able to continue to drive away is Ekralani. I think that time there, that body has 2/10 quicker. So it seems to be just a seesawing effect here between these two.
and that is just textbook race management. Ercolani knows he has the car, doesn't need to push himself too hard, got to a reasonable distance and time separation, just managing that gap, and that's just excellent race management on behalf of the 41, and it's part of the reason why he's been fastest all year around. Up there in the top of the points himself, most wins this season. So Ercolani just displaying right now is really kind of putting him together as a favorite for the championship.
His season has been very impressive, and the one thing I said earlier in the season was he struggled with the longer runs, but here tonight been able to a little bit of a reversal of that, and that's kind of what led to his wins in the mid part of the season. He really fixed that portion of it up. It wasn't just getting on pole, leading majority of the laps, and then kind of fading near the end. It was staying throughout the whole entire race, and right now he's continuing that trend here, and that 41 looking strong here as we get ready to take the start lap 50, and then next time by we'll be halfway to go here as we're clicking off laps in a blink of an eye.
Oh, definitely, and we're only about about a second off the pace, and we're halfway through this race. So really, the tires should be able to hold on as long as the cars don't run out of fuel. As we see some cars, that's the 09 of Kevin Otis, hit pit road already at the halfway mark. So this does make me question, Zach, is fuel an issue? Is the 09, did he have an issue and was forced to come to pit road? Would be interesting to see how that works. But the 41 is getting that gap closed behind him with the 48. He's trying to creep ever closer, just under half a second gap that past lap. And Peyton Hill was the faster of the two that lap. So these guys just swapping fastest laps lately and seeing who can gain on who in whatever part of the section. But we have some lap traffic. The number 19 of Justin Hamlin up front. Lap traffic has made a little bit of an impact in a couple of these races, especially in the later stages. So we'll see how the leaders negotiate that when it comes to it. And you never know, 48 may see an opportunity to take that lead, and he may take it. That just adds to the drama here at the Maple Ridge Racing Series.
Well, I can confirm to you, Kevin Otis, that was not a pit stop he wanted to do. He hit the wall coming out of turn 2. That bounced him down into pit road. He also got the black flag for speeding into pit road. From there, he would actually pull the car behind the wall and end his night. So Kevin Otis now out of this race and going to be in the P11 position here coming down to the end. So all these drivers here left now. Hamlin, like you said, they're the first car looking to go a lap down, possibly in the top 10 position here, as the 09 has parked it for the night. But Hill is going to have to get closer. He's stayed within distance right here, but they are closing in on that 19. The question is, how much does the 19 hold him up? Does the 19 just pull over, let them both by? We'll have to see. As he's gone high into one, as the 19 is going to pull way up the track. This actually might hurt Ercolani. No, it's not going to do it. It's just not going to hurt his exit, but Hill going to have to change a little bit of a line down the straightaway, but not too big of an ordeal, as Hamlin does the respectable thing, lets them all by.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Hamlin did the right thing. The 48 kind of caught him at a bad spot, just kind of in the beginning of the back straightaway. Couldn't quite arc his entry into turn 3 the way he wanted. He lost a little bit of time, just a couple of tenths, with Mario Ercolani turning the faster time that lap around. And we have quite a bit of time up into the 58 of Johnny Hurst until we see a next lap traffic. But the 19 already getting passed by the 9 of Ronald Cole and the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman, which have kind of relatively the same gaps between the first and second, third and fourth, respectively. These guys both have something going on, trying to run their own race. With 13 it's starting to lose sight of that 9 just a little bit. I think that might have been part of the lap traffic there of the 19, but here we are, 13 and Jonathan Dickerman solidly in fourth, and maybe falling back a little bit from the 9 as we talk about him here, but he's holding a strong race so far this evening.
Yeah, Dickerman's just been solid, man. I tell you, that's for sure. He has just been always on point, and just hasn't really had too many mess-ups this season. And with the gap he has back to Kurt Batty, about 5 seconds, he's got a solid 4th place right now. And if anything happens to Ronald Cole, he could be looking to get into that top 3 position. We'll have to see how that all shakes out for sure through the rest of this race. But what a night we've had here. But I got to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in here tonight. Just want to let anybody know out there who is trying to chat out there in the chat. If you are, you're gonna have to be subscribed for 5 minutes here at Freaky Fast. We're trying to fight off the bots that we've been having here lately, so that is our plan of action to see if we can end those spam bots out there ruining the chats for all the folks out there in sim racing. So if you want to have a chat with us out there in the chat, make sure you are subscribed to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And while you're at it, hit the bell notification button so you can be notified when we go live each and every time, because we got plenty of racing action throughout the week here on iRacing.com live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So it's been fun, but we gotta get rid of those bots. So definitely hit that subscribe button and allow yourself to chat.
And always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, pretty much anywhere you have a social media, you can find us. And so if you don't quite like that YouTube, whatever they do, you can always follow us anywhere else on the social medias, and you can always find racing such as this, as we are already halfway over in this Maple Ridge Racing Series. We're third race from the end of the season, first race of the playoffs. These guys are driving for an advancement into the next stage. The 41 looking to really punch his way into the next stage. But the 48 trying to maybe play spoiler, still just hovering around about a half a second gap towards the front, where we see here the 13 of Dickerman has fallen behind just a little bit of the 9 of Ronald Cole. And these guys, they're running away in pairs. You have the 48 and the 41 up front, the 9 and the 13, maybe a little bit of a gap. The 29 and the 4 in 5th and 6th behind them were battling halfway decently for that 5th position. And then behind them, we have the 54 of Alex Marinelli and the 26 of Frank Barbary. Frank Barbary qualified 4th. Had a little bit of issue early on in the race, is kind of stabilized there in 8th position behind the 54 of Marinelli. But these guys, it's interesting to see how they've kind of separated themselves away from each other.
Yeah, these two have really took it to a different level, and Hill is showing, man, he has so much potential this season. He's shown this time in and time out. The 48 gets better and better as the race goes on. You gotta watch out for him here as he's closed it down. He's getting in the mirror, Eckerlani, and I tell you what, the one thing I like that he's doing, he's running a completely different line. Eckerlani very shallow into the entry, gets right to the bottom in 1 and 2. And I tell you what, Hill's doing a little bit more of an arcing line, so he's trying to do something different here. That's going to really help him try to set a pass up here when he gets to him.
And Hill ran a significantly faster pace and a faster lap than Ercolani that last time around. He was able to gain a lot of time on that 41 machine. And here we are. As you guys see it now, we see the 48, get a little squirrely out on the exit of turn 4. Was able to get it back under him. And I think maybe the 41 maybe trying to do a little bit more defending with that shallow entry. The 48, like you said, is being a little more aggressive, trying to arc it a little bit more, but can't quite get the run on the exit that he wants to help that other corner entry. So yeah, Zach the 41 definitely running it a little more shallow, but coming up on the 58, Johnny Hurst. These guys, the faster they go, the more lap cars they pass, the faster these lap cars are going to be. So as we run further and further along, about 3/4 of the lap through this race, we see the 54 Marinelli just trying to hold on to that lead lap with these guys, Frank Barbary and the 26 right behind him.
Yeah, these guys are about 15 seconds behind our leader now, so they are falling into the clutches of them. You know, with this race has 74 laps, they could be in the clutches of our leader around, I'd say, that last crucial bit of this race, probably 5 to go. So we'll have to watch out at this pace with them closing in here. They also are going to run up into the back of Johnny Hurst here in the 58. He's the next one in the 9th position there to possibly look to go a lap down. Also, do they have enough fuel? We've seen sometimes this season guys have elected really late to pit, but at this point, if they've waited this long, I'm starting to think they should be good. Also, Phoenix, somewhat of an outlier there in Phoenix, also with it being a much longer track than the normal half mile like this.
Oh, definitely Phoenix can put that fuel window into question. But also what I was noticing is, especially these two leaders, they can kind of dictate how fast they're going. And they can probably save, since they're really only fighting for first position here. I mean, unless something severely were to go wrong. We see the 58 Johnny Hirsch just letting these guys by. But they could really dictate the pace. So if they wanted to save, they could save. And again, that just doesn't make it easy. You never know what can happen, but I feel like the situation these guys are in saving would be kind of easy, as we are on lap 78, 23 here to go for the Maple Ridge Racing Series. And these guys kind of pull away from the lapped traffic. We have got to give out to one of our final sponsors of the night, and that is Advanced Sim Racing. They were founded in 2020 and are the fastest growing North American racing simulation chassis manufacturer and digital motorsport equipment retailer. They're owned and operated by passionate sim racers, and they design, build the sturdiest, most durable aluminum profile cockpits available on the market today. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. Use the code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, to get 5% off their order. Gotta love Advanced Sim Racing for helping us out here, letting us give these great broadcasts, some of this great racing action out to you fans. And here we are, 20 laps left to go here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And right here, this is the 26th of Frank Barbary here in 8th place. And he's fallen back from the 54 of Marinelli. Marinelli just trying to actually get to the bumper of the 4 of Ben Mashburn, but here we are. As we saw earlier, the 9 was starting to spread away a little bit from the 13 of Dickerman, but Dickerman was able to reel the 9 of Ronald Cole in, and this is for a podium position, as the first two cars of 41 and 48 have kind of checked out of this race. This is probably the most important battle right now, as well as a podium spot and a chance to talk to you race fans. It also gives points for the playoffs, so the 13 trying to get that position just for that extra amount of points.
Yeah, this could be huge right here. Definitely a position worth pursuing here, as Dickerman putting the pressure on. Cole is yet to make a mistake yet, but if you get there, you might as well put the pressure on. It's also allowing Electrolani up front, is starting to open up the gap a little bit more on Hill. This is starting to be our best battle on this racetrack as Dickerman closes in. It looks like Cole, tough time getting the car down the racetrack, must be struggling a little bit with that tight race car there. Is just not getting that nose to turn. Here comes Dickerman taking a look into 3. Couldn't get inside of him. But, man, I'll tell you what, down here into 1, it will be a battle, as the 9 has been struggling here to get that nose turned here through the corner.
Yeah, and that's just Ronald just kind of might have pushed his car a little too hard off that right front tire, and here as we ride along here, with the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman almost hitting that wall and almost getting into the side of the 9, but here we are side by side down the front straightaway. The 13 going to take away that inside line from Ronald Cole, and there he is. He's going to complete the pass on the exit of turn 2 and overtake that 3rd position, setting his sights on the 48 in front of him, which is quite a distance of I would say a good 5-6 seconds. So 13 has a lot of work to do if he wants to get up there, with 87 laps completed in this race. 14 to go as the leader crosses the line. So these guys' time is running out.
Quickly is running out for these drivers, and gotta say, Dickerman there made a heck of a pass there to get inside of that 9 there, and then really have a great job down in the 1 and 2, be patient on the bottom, and has gotten away. But the 9 of Ronald Cole trying to formulate something here to come up and try to get back to the 13, but these guys way too far behind Peyton Hill. He's going to need some type of mistake for him to catch up to that car.
Well, it can happen. The 41 has caught up to the next pack of lapped cars. It's not just a single car. There are 3 cars, as we are watching the 9 dive in really deep there in the corner entry of turn 3 and try and power out of turn 4, but can't quite make the pass. Doesn't have the momentum, gets back in line behind the 13. But here we are with 10 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach. We see the 13 get a little sideways, get into that wall just a little bit, but it's okay to go on. And Ronald Cole can't quite make the pass there. And don't go away after the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. We will have our post-race interviews. We get to talk with our top 3 finishers about the race, about the week, and what lies ahead. So don't go anywhere after this action-packed racing for that, as we see the 41 of Mario Orcolani continuing to lead this race and trying to navigate his way through some faster lap traffic than what he's dealt with before. The 48 is actually having a little bit of a harder time getting through this track and falling further and further behind the 41.
Yeah, he seemed to burn the tires up now, as falling back into the clutches there's just got by Frank, and now Marinelli starting to close, or sorry, Marinelli starting to fall into the clutches there of Eckerlani behind. We'll see how that works out, but man, I thought, the 9 had formulated something to get back to Dickerman, as Dickerman actually, sorry, he gets into the inside wall there in 3 and 4, so that slowed him up actually, and that could maybe make a battle interesting there for that 3rd position. But I tell you what, this battle right here is going to be very, very interesting. How does the lap car of Alex Marinelli treat our leader with 6 to go?
And for the most part, the lap traffic has been really conscientious of who's been racing around him, as we see the 54 allow the 41 to go by. So for the most part, the lap traffic has been really courteous and just let all these faster lap guys go. But 5 to go at the line. The 41 with a dominant performance has led every lap to this point, with Peyton Hill just trailing his heels and can't quite make it there even with this lapped traffic. And as we're talking about this, looks like Dickerman was able to pull away from the 9 of Ronald Cole. So the 13 of Dickerman with a late race pass was able to make a move into 3rd onto that last podium position. So we will see how the race turns out and see if we get to talk to him. But the 41 trying to keep his path clear. The 48 was able to get a little more gains on the 41, but with 3 to go here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, it is not going to be hard pressed to make that up.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough here. Eckerlani going to come through 3 and 4. He's going to look up to the flag man and say, I just want to see you one more time, buddy. It's going to be 2 to go here at Myrtle Beach, and it's going to be Eckerlani's race to lose, as Hill has actually started to close a little bit of the gap down, but that's not going to be enough time, as through 3 and 4, Eckerlani going to see one more lap here at Myrtle Beach.
And there it is. That is the Freaky Fast white flag. 1 lap here to go at Myrtle Beach Speedway with Maple Ridge Racing Series. This race has been absolutely dominated by that machine right there. The 41 of Ercolani, as he goes through transitions of 3 into 4 on the exit. Checkered flag is in the air. The winner here is the 41, Mario Ercolani, here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And what a dominant performance that is. Strategy had nothing to do with it. He had the lead, he had the pole, he took it and did not look back through the entirety of this race. So the 41 just extending that lead and making sure he has that race win in his pocket in these 2 race playoffs. And as we see him get up here with the start finish line, we're going to see him burn it down just a little bit. We'd love to see the donuts and the tire smoke coming off of the rear end, and he celebrates his lap. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you go anywhere. Remember, we have the post-race interviews with the top 3 finishers, so stick around, hang around for just a couple of minutes, and we will be right back to talk with your podium finishers. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You saw 100 laps here of non-stop racing at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and all the moment you've all been waiting for the top three finishers. Here we are with the 13, Jonathan Dickerman. John, good. Congratulations on your third place finish. You finished. You qualified fifth, worked methodically into that podium spot with the late race move around the 9. How did the car handle? And were you guys worried about tires or fuel at all?
No, I wasn't too worried about fuel. I was worried about tires. I have a really bad habit around here of coming in a little lower on corner entry than I should. So I tend to abuse the right front tire. So I was just trying everything I could to just ease it in and roll it through the center. And I feel bad. I kind of nerfed the 9 when I get under him. I wasn't expecting to kind of scrape the wall, and I wasn't expecting to get a run like that. And by the time I got under him, I didn't want to turn. So I apologize to Josh for getting into him.
Well, I tell you what, John, that was a great run, man. Getting third here to start off the playoffs, my friend. We head off into New Hampshire next week. A little bit bigger track than normal here, so a mile track. How you feel about heading off into that flat, big track?
Um, Kind of have a love-hate relationship with that place. I've run good there in the past, and I've also run terrible. So we'll see what happens. I'm generally not looking forward to larger, 1 mile tracks, but we'll see. We'll give it a try. I'm excited with that finish tonight. So I think have some momentum going into next week.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to next week, Jonathan. Before we let you go, sir, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just shout out to my wife for letting me do this, and my parents. They tend to watch these streams every night, every time we race. So I appreciate them supporting us, and just you guys and Alex and everyone who makes this possible. This is awesome. I really appreciate everything, and I enjoy this league.
Well, we appreciate you and watching you race, John. Congratulations on your podium finish tonight.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Robert.
And of course, our birthday boy, Robert Moyo Jr. But before we get to him, we're going to get to our second place finisher, the 48 of Peyton Hill. Peyton, congratulations on another second place finish. I know that's not what you wanted, but what would you have needed to get to the 41's bumper to possibly make a move?
Well, if I'm gonna be completely honest, this last week I talked to Mario. He said that he was looking forward to this place, and I was like, man, that's not what I wanted to hear. So I threw in probably a good 100 laps before the race and try to do as much as I can in practice to figure out what's better for my tires and everything. And it clearly showed. It turns out I might have to double that for next week just to have a chance. So Mario's hard to catch, but I don't ever. I'm not complaining. This is first round of the playoffs. We got two more, and that's still a long ways to go. So I'm excited, ready to keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely a great start, Peyton, man. So congrats on second here tonight. I know that's going to help you out here a lot in the playoffs, man. But we head off to New Hampshire next week. Definitely a very big flat track here compared to the distance for most of the tracks here. So how you feel about heading off to New Hampshire?
Well, of all the tracks that I've had so far, the most memorable ones have been the bigger tracks. I can dodge whatever's wrecking in front of me, or in general speed coming from the actual NASCAR side of things coming into this series. The bigger tracks definitely are a little bit more to my liking. You don't have these weird lines. Uh, that yeah, bigger tracks, bigger chance for me is what I consider it.
Well, I can tell you we are definitely going to be looking forward to calling that race and seeing you up front again. Before we let you go, sir, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, firstly, I got to give a shout out to Norco College Esports. They helped me out through this whole season, got me through the entry, like everything. They pushed me to race this. Hijinks Esports, what I'm running on my car. These guys are awesome. They're actually been messaged me earlier this morning and said, "You go win us a championship," and I'm trying. And EPI, they're helping me out on just in the official side of things on iRacing. A few more people I do want to shout out. I got to shout out uh, you guys broadcasting this league's awesome, very professional. Everything's like love watching this. I watch it over and over again. Especially tonight. I learn from my mistakes. Gotta thank Alex. He's been putting this on. I think this is season 3 now, so excited to keep moving up forward with him. I gotta shout out my auntie. she actually did a few chores for me today so that I could do do practice laps. And then I got to give a shout out to my grandpa and grandma in Oregon. They are actually they watch all of these and support me from way up there. So yeah, and lastly, my family and friends who are watching it back at home.
Well, thank you for the shout outs, and we love watching, love putting in the show off for all your fans. Congratulations on your second place finish. Look forward to talk to you next week.
Yeah, I hope to be here. Hopefully on the top spot this time.
One extra spot wouldn't hurt, but that was Peyton Hill. But here's our winner, Mario Ercolani. Mario, congratulations on the win. Another one this season. You are absolutely dominant out there. Were you kind of pacing the gap there and just maintaining there, especially towards the last half of that race?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, kind of thinking it might go green, especially as we ran. And I know this group of guys real well. They were really clean tonight. So I was like, I'm just going to ride here and keep the pace and do what I got to do to have as much tire at the end, just in case there was a caution or if Peyton got to me or whatever.
Definitely a great start here for you in the playoffs, Mario, man. So congrats on the race win here tonight at Myrtle Beach. But heading off to New Hampshire next week, definitely a little bit bigger size track, but definitely very flat here. So how you feel about heading into New Hampshire?
New Hampshire's a tricky one. You got to hit the corner right. You got to hit the line right. It'll be a lot of fun. It's kind of home. I actually live about an hour from the track, so it should be a good time. I'm excited to go race there.
Well, we are definitely excited to see you race there, Mario. I can tell you that, especially after last night. But before you go, do you know what you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I want to give Robert a happy birthday tonight. Alex for the league, you guys for the broadcast as always, and Elite Performance Industries, man. They do a bang up job.
Well, you are definitely showing all the hard work they do. Congratulations, sir, on your race win tonight. Good luck next week in New Hampshire.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate you.
And from the words of our race winner, looking forward to next week of New Hampshire. Of course, the 41 of Ercolani winning tonight's race. Peyton Hill taking that second place and running out the podium. Jonathan Dickerman. Ronald Cole fell to fourth position with Kurt Batty fighting his way finally to take that fifth position. Kevin Otis with an earlier incident. He did not finish the race. The rest of the field about a lap down, but other than that, this was a clean race. Zach Green all the way, 100 laps of racing with New Hampshire next week. It is going to be a wild one, especially getting the last race before that championship circuit there at Richmond.
Yeah, I cannot wait, man. We got two great tracks coming up, two tracks I know very, very well, and these guys are going to be having a tough time navigating those, trying to get themselves to a championship here at the Maple Ridge Series. And gotta congratulate Ercolani on this win here tonight. It's a definite track that I would definitely want to get a win at too. So cool to see him pulling stuff off like that here. And a flat track like this should test well for him there in New Hampshire. And especially saying he lives about an hour away from the track. Usually people that live near tracks, that's usually a good reason why they put a lot of practice there, and because it's close to the heart. So I wouldn't be surprised if that 41's pretty strong in New Hampshire. But we've seen other guys have contention. We'll have to see if Ronald Cole can bounce back. Really, that's the one I want to watch because they're in fourth, 10 seconds back. He's got to be a little bit questioning, scratching his head, and say, "What did I do wrong tonight?" But we'll see. It's been a fun season so far, but you don't want to miss out on New Hampshire next weekend. Last but not least, before we get out of here, I just want to say one thing: happy birthday to our producer Robert Boyer Jr. And I'm gonna do what he would normally do if one of us had a birthday up here. So we're gonna sing "Happy Birthday" to Robert. So 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Off to you, Carl. Now I had to do it for Robert. He would do it to us, so I had to. But there you go, Carl.
Oh, awesome stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, as we said, we are just starting the playoffs here at the Maple Ridge Racing Series. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You won't miss a second of the action. And of course, happy birthday to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr., and everyone out there. You guys stay safe, look out for each other, keep an eye out for all of our broadcasts later on in the week, and most importantly, until next time, keep it freaky fast.